Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody who's listening. My name is RJ. This is another Toonkind at 12 FPS. Um, I want to just point out the content warnings in the description that'll be there, probably.
Yeah.
Um, just keep those in mind,
Yep.
as it be, when it do.
hmm
Uh,
hmm
I am with the fantastic, amazing.
You stop that.
I will not. You can't make me.
Hi, I'm Hex. And I am in fact playing the new Blorbo, the Changeling. That is the cause of all of those content warnings. Don't worry about it.
We can't help our origins.
Yeah, man, he's having it rough.
Yeah.
Oh, he has shit the bed. Cool.
Oof.
Well, I'm not recording apparently. Yeah, oh god, no, it just
I'm
died.
so
Cool.
glad we've got backup recorders going.
Yeah.
Well, on
Welp.
that on that hopefully not a harbinger note,
Mm-hmm.
Decimal is walking through Halloween Town because that's where Network is.
Yep.
So I need to roll some survival. God, I think that's 16. I played this match so much I just know his modifiers. Yeah, it's 16.
Oh, cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
We love
So
that.
he doesn't get lost. It takes him a little bit longer than he intended to get to network, but he gets
hmm
there. And now I need to roll hammer space so he can bribe the bouncer. That's a 6. He
So I
pulls
get.
out. uh,
Oh, go ahead.
He pulls out a chunk of pyrite.
Ooh. Is that appeasing to the bouncer?
Does this appease the bouncer as he let in the building? Perfect. Okay, he's let it. We have
Cool.
Meanwhile in the chat right now, so I can just ask him things.
Yay!
Yeah. So he's let in the building. Thank fuck.
Yep.
Um,
Which leads to hey Decimal, what brings you to network?
yeah. So, fucking Craigery rescued a stray, picking up Lynn's tendency of hoarding people. Um, and he this stray and him have some things in common. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he was asked to come and see if he can help out with this particular thing because he has been there, done that.
Yep.
And it's not a
Yep.
club he wanted to be in, and it's not a club he wanted other people to be in.
But here we are, and it's a club. God damn it.
We need fucking t-shirts.
We do.
Yeah. So, in the network, puts the pyrite down on a nearby table. Um uh I think this is like the second time, maybe the second and a half time he's ever been inside network. So he's taking this
Mm-hmm.
moment to look around and see if he can figure out where the fuck he's supposed to go.
That's fair. Uh so based on uh the tour in the last FPS, all of the bedrooms and shit are upstairs. Um and
Okie
I
dokie.
yeah.
Up the
The
stairs he
house
goes.
Yep. And the house will accept bribes to get you where you need to go further. But uh basically the landing area the landing, Jesus. The living area is very clearly like living and also big desk where Lynn works, and then upstairs there's very clearly like a hallway and doors that are, oh, these are bedrooms. Uh you don't know which one is the one you need, so that'll be fun. Uh
He gets up the stairs and then pauses. And I need to roll another hammer space.
mhm.
That's not a fumble. It's close, but it's not a fumble. He
Hey.
pulls out a chunk of opal this time and goes opalized wood, so petrified wood, and goes, "I'll give you this if you can tell me which bedroom I'm looking for."
Does the house accept that bribe?
It does.
Excellent. The house accepts this bribe.
So fucking funny.
The door frame gets highlighted. So there's door, and then second door, and then a third door. And third door is what gets highlighted. Uh, there are more further down, but like third door is highlighted. That is the door you need.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
boy.
it's the door is closed. Um, but if he were to just try to open it, I don't know if he will or not, but if he will, he'll find it's not locked. But the door is closed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I make preemptive this. Okay. Should be a plus 12, I think. Yeah, plus 12.
I don't know what a preemptive is, but
Preemptive deception.
oh, cool. Okay.
To school him face.
Yep.
And he's going to go over and knock on the door.
Okay.
Because he
So
thinks network will throw him out a window if he just barges in.
fair. So he knocks, and it's we're not fresh freedom anymore. But there's still, there's still a lot of shit to work through. So he knocks, and he gets uh like a confirm a con- a confirming kind of sound that just acknowledges, yep, someone's out there. But no, like, come in or anything. Just, yep, I've acknowledged that you are there. Probably with the assumption that the door will just be opened anyway. Oh, that's a very bad roll. That's okay.
His fast perception is like 25, right?
It's 24, but yes.
24. Okay, good enough. He will absolutely catch the murmur then the decimal goes of, "I'm going to open the door, please don't throw me out a window." And then the door opens.
Yep. Excellent. So Decimal, I don't know if Gregory informed you of what this stray, the important thing about this stray. He did. Okay, good. So
Yeah.
you are greeted with a familiar to you face. Because he is in network, so he is not shifted to hide what he looks like. But he does turn pretty alarmed because you're not a familiar voice. As the door opens. So you do get a pretty good, like, eyeful of a surprised looking Matthias, as changeling, and
Yeah.
not the elf he normally hides as.
Yeah. He was prepared for that. He was prepared for
Good.
that bit.
Good. Matthias is very surprised. He had an 8 to, like, mentally prepare himself, and nope, he's surprised.
Oof.
Oof. And he kind of stops and stares at you, because you're new.
You're Matthias, correct?
Um, uh, y- yes, sir.
Now I roll this at disadvantage without guidance.
What did he roll?
Not terribly, but not great either. That was the low roll.
Hey.
21.
Yo, 21. All right, let's see if Matthias is, like, Just always on inside. Fuck me. Yeah, okay. I can 25. Yeah, okay.
Cool. Okay. Uh, Decibel goes still, and there is a slight. You catch the slight flicker of his pupils widening in. Like, when he walked in the room,
Mm-hmm.
his face was kind of unreadable, but now you can see a clear hint of recognition that hadn't been present when you hadn't yet spoke.
Yeah. It's clearly the voice is familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if he recalls, because that was probably a lot, at that point. Oh, well, okay, yeah, he does. So, cool, that's a nat 20, yep, cool, alright, yep. Uh, so, he says, yes, sir, he sees the recognition. Uh, the surprise kind of fades away, and Decimal, you can very clearly see him, like, not studying, but he is, searching your face, because if you recall and recognize him, then you must have met before. And then he does finally recall, and he goes, "You're from the garden.
Yes.
You you got out.
As did you.
Not without help.
You think I got out of there?
I don't know."
I didn't, is the answer to that sarcastic question.
He kind of ducks his head. Uh and now he's just
They are both just,
uh Decimal, you would know, he's from experience, he's kind of waiting to see what you do.
Okay. Um.
Um,
He like there's a long hesitation, and then Matthias can see the moment that he kind of shuts down that emotional response.
mhm.
Uh, his hand tightens a bit on the handle of his cane, and he shoves the other hand in the pocket of his slacks and goes, "Let's take a walk."
Uh, um, oh, all right. Uh, he is not going to argue or, well, unfortunately, question, but he's just gonna, like, Decimal turns to the door and Matthias follows him. Like, but it is, he does, as he's heading down the stairs, shift, and no longer is he a changeling, he is now a dark-skinned, dark-haired elf, walking beside and slightly behind you, Decimal.
There's a quick glance back, register that, carry on without comment.
Mm-hmm.
As they walk down the stairs, Decimal, seemingly apropos of nothing, goes, "I'll bring him back in a bit. Don't worry."
Matthias, like, he knows he's talking to Network. Uh, the floorboards squeak in approval. So the house hasn't, like, he doesn't know what's going on. But Network hasn't thrown Decimal out or stopped him from entering, and with Gregory and Lynn informing him that the house is warded to hell and back, uh, he's gotta assume this is, well, someone who doesn't wish him harm, so it should be fine. Probably.
They get outside, and Decimal waits until they're like 20 feet away from the building before going, "Network doesn't like me very much.
I-
Lynn and I have a history."
Oh, I see. Okay. Should I uh should I have and then he kind of what could he have done? And he just kind of goes quiet after like
I mean, you could, if you had argued on my behalf, I would have been very amused, but it's not necessary.
oh, all right. He just kind of like nods at that and then Decimal said let's take a walk, so they're taking a walk. Matthias is very much Decimal, you can very much tell that he is not studying you, but he is definitely looking at you, like watching you.
Mm-hmm.
But he does not ask where you guys are going or anything like that. He is just following.
Decimal is simply going to let Kara take them where they will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alarm went off. I forgot to turn that off. Uh, yeah, let Kara take them where they will. And I think after a few moments of silence, there's just uh uh a quiet little exhale,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "You know, I used to be an indenture."
Uh, yeah, I, I, I do. Yeah, he can very clearly see like the studs, the
Yeah.
scarring. He recalls. I, he starts to apologize and then he stops.
What I don't know if the others would have told you is that I was technically indentured twice. Well, I was indentured, I escaped, and then I was recaptured.
His eyebrows go up at that. Uh, how did and then he kind of he's trying to puzzle was when I saw you at the garden, was that the first or the second time?
That was when I'd been recaptured.
And he kind of exhales because he recalls the bandaging and the fresh wounds and yeah,
Yeah. There's a
yeah.
grim smile on Decimal's face, and he goes, Lucian wasn't pleased.
Matthias kind of like swallows at that. Uh, can you can see kind of like the shudder run through him as he thinks about, undoubtedly like what would happen to him if he were recaptured and he just I from what I recall of Mr. Smirch, I he kind of just nods like yeah, that makes sense. Uh, and that was you had to have help to get out.
I couldn't walk. Or see. Or speak.
He kind of blinks at that one because he didn't know about the couldn't walk part. He glanced down at. Can he with his? I guess well, he would be actively looking, so he would probably have to roll to actually
Yeah.
like see the
Perception
leg.
or medicine would be my guess. And which side of Decimal?
Medicine.
Which side of Decimal is he standing on?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably opposite the cane, just because that would make it easier to move for
Okay,
Decimal to
he's on
move.
Decimal's right side then.
Yeah, okay. Medicine. Oh, you have good medicine. Well, duh, of
I
course you
sure
do.
fucking hope so. You're a cleric.
Yeah, he is. So that is 13 plus 9, 22.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to notice, due to the way that his coat hangs and like the darkness of the shadow from the
Yeah,
coat and the darkness of his
yeah.
slacks and his general line work. But now that he's walking, and is like there's more accent, like his coat is back a bit so he doesn't get caught in
Hmm.
the cane. You can see his thigh, the vast majority of it, the line work is melted and warped. There's areas where it bleeds into the color. There's areas where the color has bled into it. It's like if you took it's like if you took a painting and tipped paint thinner all over it.
Yeah, and of course, I made his charisma shit so he couldn't hide things worth a damn, and of course he nat 20 is a deception to not react to that, but
What's the total?
it is in fact a 23.
I think that beats it.
Oh
Even
shit.
with the bad roll. I think that meets it. Yeah, meets it beats
Yeah,
it.
beats it. So yeah, uh he does arguably a pretty okay job of schooling his expression neutral and not, reacting, but you can still see his eye, like the horror in his eyes as he kind of realizes just what happened and what, what it probably took to do that. He doesn't have much extensive knowledge of tunes, but he knows, kind of the basics of they're hard to kill and permanently hurt in this kind of way, except for, well, specific things. And yeah, he he takes that all in, and there's a very measured exhale, and he just does it does it are you okay to walk? Do we need to
It's a
do
relatively
you
good day, speaking.
he nods at that. If if you do require anything to help ease the pain, I can. And he kind of like waves a hand a little bit, and I'm a cleric. I can ease some of that pain if you need me to.
Roll insight.
Hey. Oh.
I'm just gonna use his passive deception for this.
Cool. That might not be. What's his passive?
22.
Yeah, that's not high enough. Damn. It's
Okay.
a 19.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10.
That's
He's got a plus 9, but
yeah.
yeah.
That's close enough that he catches the brief upward twitch of Decimal's eyebrow, but he can't read the what has caused it behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Decimal does incline his head slightly and go, "I'm alright."
Oh, all right. And he just kind of like nods, falls back into step. He seems to be kind of processing all of that, and you Decimal can roll insight if he'd like.
Yeah. Christ almighty.
Oh boy!
Not getting very good rolls today. 25?
20. Not good rolls, he says.
Average. Come on.
Average with a 25. He Decimal, you can tell he's kind of like mulling all of this over. And you can tell probably from experience, and it's not the good experience and it's probably the I recognize this and I don't like that I recognize this. And I don't like that it's directed at me, because he's trying to puzzle out why the hell you're telling him this. There's a lot of like whys and whats, and he's trying to figure it all out and puzzle like what's going to be expected of him. Like, what is expected of him in this situation? Why is he being told this? What is it leading to? What does he need to prepare for, basically? So.
He takes that all in, and he doesn't immediately respond. Because he recognizes he probably needs to be blunt and upfront in this moment, and neither of those things, well, bluntness comes relatively naturally to him, but upfrontedness is not something he's specialized for.
Yeah.
So he's kind of mentally weighing up how much of his hand he should reveal, how many cards he should put down on the table, and what putting those cards down is going to cost him.
Gotcha, yeah.
There's a kind of forceful exhale, and then he goes, I'm telling you this so you know the kind of background that I'm drawing on when I say I get it.
And okay. Matthias kind of blinks a little, and I wasn't going to accuse you of saying that you didn't. If and then he kind of stops and thinks about it for a second, because of course, his immediate reaction is to say it's okay, I wasn't going to, to diffuse any potential conflict, and then he pauses and just, when you get what? Or that you get what?
Allow me to answer that question with another question. They've probably been giving you a lot of choices, right?
I guess.
Open-ended. Have whatever you want. Pick whatever you want. That kind of thing.
He kind of like, he thinks about it for a minute, and he kind of like, they've said that it's it's about what I want and my comfort, and so I guess. He sounds like he doesn't quite understand, like he's repeating what Lynn has said, kind of in the initial, it's, you can do this or this, it's your decision, it's all about your comfort, and he doesn't quite like. There's a lot of reassurance, and he doesn't understand. Like he doesn't get why, because and some of the open-ended questions that they have given, it's yeah, he doesn't. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out the wording, and my brain has died on me. But he does eventually like a little bit. Yeah, it's been a lot of what I want, and there we go. Yeah, there we go. It's been a lot of what I want, and uh, my choices, and uh, he kind of is like wringing his hands nervously.
It'd be so much easier if they just told you what to choose.
He nods at that, like, yeah.
I bet they smile at you as well when you finally puzzle out what it is they want.
You see
So
his ears.
good.
You see his ears
Good
kind of droop.
choice. Yeah.
'Cause he doesn't say like he doesn't agree with that one, but yeah, his ears kind of droop, and yeah, you're decimals hitting it pretty well there. Yeah. Uh, I he's picking at his at the like the sleeves of his sweater. It They mean well. They're trying to help me. I don't
It's not healthy, is it?
I don't know. I mean, I I I and he bites his lip. It feels like it should.
Just because it's sure doesn't mean it is.
So then what so then what? I just he he doesn't like follow that up. He's just like you can see he's starting to like the 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 nervousness is kind of creeping in. Uh
Yeah.
mhm.
Decibel is very aware that he is treading on a very thin high wire here. Um
Yeah.
trying to read both from a little bit of his own self projection, and
Mhm.
from what he knows of Lynn and Craigree and how they react to things, um, and what he can glean just from reading Matthias in the moment.
Yep.
Um, I think they've forgotten the comfort in having set defined options.
He kind of blinks.
What's this if you know what's going to happen? A
And
happens or B happens.
he nods at that. It and it's easy to figure out which one is the preferred outcome when it's only just the two, or even none, or even the one.
Freedom is fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been so preoccupied with just waves a hand.
Hmm. It it's like it's it's like they're waiting for something to happen, but I don't know what, and I don't know. If I knew, I'd do it, but I don't know.
And the longer you make them wait, the worse you feel the punishment's going to be when the other shoe drops.
And he nods. I don't I I I I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've He's kind of curling in on himself a little bit as you walk.
Mm.
And you get the feeling that's probably the first time he's admitted that.
He is very aware of the wire beneath his feet.
Mhm. There is because Matthias's emotions are getting higher and higher. And yeah, that wire's getting higher and thinner.
I'd like to think I'm able to predict Lynn fairly well, and I know I can predict Gregory fairly well. He is a creature of habit. Neither of them know quite what to do with you, and it means they're walking on eggshells. And I don't think they've realized you've picked that up, which is
He
foolish of them, frankly, but
he kind of again he kind of like shrinks a little more in on himself. I, I don't want to. They're already doing so much. I don't.
they're doing too much.
What?
They've been so focused on giving you freedom, they've forgotten to give you familiarity.
He. Hmm. What? Like. There's a little bit of a. Let me see if he'll. Does he? Nope. Decimal. You do see the kind of like the bit of fear flash of like what? What do you mean? Like
You spent 2 years being told what to do. and now expected to make your own choices. You're just not equipped for that.
I, I mean, I, I, it, I guess you're right. I, I mean, I could if they just, I don't know, made it a little easier to figure out what they needed or what I wanted or what. Wait, no, what they, I. Hands go to his hair, kind of like
That's the other thing.
exhale. Huh?
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing.
What?
You're trying to figure out what they need, but what they want is for you to pick what you want, which just sort of leads this cycle of confusion.
So then what do I do? What what can I do?
There's a pause as he thinks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that wire is so high and so thin. And he goes, I'll talk to Lynn. Get her to make choices easier. Set options, no open endedness. And I'll get her to be more clear about what the outcomes of each option will be. Which should, I think, make things easier for you to decide.
He'll nod at that. Uh and you do see some of the you see some of that building kind of fear and tension ease with a well, with a very plain laid out like what I am going to do kind of thing. And he just, oh, all right, and that she'll listen.
If she doesn't, then I'll get Gregory to make her listen. But I think she will. She takes criticisms like the best of martyrs.
That is a that's a turn of phrase he hasn't heard before. But you get a surprise, just like a kind of a surprised pause, and then, all right, uh, I thank you. I, he's not quite sure if that's the correct response, but he feels like he should say thank you.
There's a nod of acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Which good. That's okay. And rolling off of that previous insight, just because you've been rolling not great on the dice, so we're not gonna torment poor Decimal. Uh and he Decimal can tell Matthias wants to ask something, but he's again, it's I mean his whole everything. He is afraid to ask it, afraid of the reaction to asking it, etc., etc., etc. So, he wants to ask something, but is unsure how to, one, approach it, and two, word it.
You can be blunt with me. I'll be blunt with you.
And you get that feeling of him studying you again, puzzling out, trying to figure it out. Let me just really quick get his insight. Yeah, fuck me, dude. Okay. Uh, and eventually he just kind of blurts out, "Why? This is you're not comfortable right now. You're not. Why are you going so far out of your way to help me?"
There's a pause, again, where Decimal has to think. Because if he's being entirely honest, he's not sure. Pre. Pre Fate's Tangled Strings 2 Decimal would not have done this. At all.
Mhm. Mhm.
Pre Fate's Tangled Strings 2 Decimal wouldn't have even stuck around for this conversation. He wouldn't even have gone to network at all.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, he's gotten an outsourced conscience, I think is the most appropriate way to put it.
He's got his little Jiminy Cricket
He's
in the
got he's
form of
got yeah, he's got three little Jiminy Crickets on his shoulder.
yeah.
And one of them asked him nicely for help.
Mhm.
So there's this pause as he considers all of this. And then he shrugs and goes, "My warlock asked it of me."
Ooh. All right. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. So, Decimal says that, and Matthias kind of stops in his tracks. Uh, and God, he just nat one that cool. Awesome. We love it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, boy. Cause he, I don't know if he knows enough to piece together who his warlock is. Uh, but he is aware enough to basically realize my warlock asked it of me. And that implies that Decimal is a patron, which implies power, but also, the whole my warlock kind of there's there is a there is now an energy about Matthias that was not quite there before. Uh and I don't know if it's a good one. In fact, I'm pretty sure it probably isn't a good energy, Decimal. Uh, but he's frozen in his tracks and he's looking at Decimal. And it's it's like there was something he couldn't quite place, and now he's kind of realized that's why I couldn't place it. And Decimal definitely can feel the anxiety. That wire is getting higher and higher and thinner, and uh-oh.
Decimal continues on for a step or two, and then realizes, oh, he stopped, and turns around, takes all this in, and very, very calmly goes, whatever you're thinking, it's not real. I bleed, I scar just as easily as any other. I'm not some powerful deity or some obscene force.
He can see Matthias kind of take all of that in and process it. Uh, and he is Decimal. There is a where it had been just like puzzling out, what you want and everything. Now there is a look of I don't know if it would be called exactly fear, but Matthias is definitely looking at you in a way that says he hmm, how can I word this? In a way that says he has reevaluated a lot of things and has decided you could be dangerous to him, and he doesn't know how to handle that. And it is at war with everything you had said prior, and about how you, especially about how you get it, you get being captive, and you want to help him, and that is now at odds with this kind of revelation.
If you needed to, right now, assuming you have access to all the typical clerical abilities, you could freeze me in my tracks. You could shoot me full of necrotic energy. You could blast me with the power of the sun. There's not a whole lot I can do against that. I'm still mortal. Still bleed. Gregory being my warlock is a new development.
Gregory?
Who did he say his patron was?
He he didn't.
Well, I'll have to apologize to him later about that. Gregory is my warlock. I am his patron. He is a warlock of the fate of chaos.
Blank, blank. He I'm gonna probably go out on a limb and say he does not know anything about the fate of
No,
chaos. Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, figured.
All that means, in terms of, every day, is that shit tends to go wild around me. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. I don't even have very much magic myself.
Matthias's head is slowly tilting to one side. Like maybe he will understand this man a little better looking at him from a 30-degree angle.
About the
He
most
looks
that I personally can do is influence chance a little bit in my favor. That's it.
he he slowly nods. Uh and accepts this. He doesn't really have much, he has no reason to not, and he's pretty good at, reading people. That's a yeah, yeah.
I can roll persuasion if you'd like.
Oh, please do.
Okay, adding guidance to this. Yeah, there's a brief, like as he says, I can tip chance in my favor a little bit. There's a brief, like glow from his eyes and the red in his coat and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
To explain this guidance. That's not terrible, not great, but not terrible. Um, I barely ever use your persuasion. What is your persuasion? We'll say.
Hey,
Okay,
he's a
23.
rogue. Yeah, okay, cool. Uh, so Matthias is, he's looking at him, head tilted. The the that's it. He was looking at Decimal like he was a predator, in a way. Uh, Something that could potentially, hurt him, but has chosen not to yet. And he takes all of that in. Uh, and he you don't see him relax. Like he's still kind of tense and wound really tight like a spring. But he does nod, and he he believes that. Like he believes that uh he believes what you say. Uh, uh I guess that makes a little more sense then.
Hmm. Being a minor demi-deity didn't prevent me from getting recaptured. Didn't prevent me from being indentured in the first place.
There's the oh right, that also happened, yeah.
It doesn't prevent me from being controlled by other people.
So then what outside of what you had mentioned, what does it do?
Theoretically, I have a demiplane. In practice, I've never managed to actually get to it.
Blank, blank, blank. Doesn't
Really
know how to
useful.
respond to that one.
Would make it really fucking useful for storage.
That does kind of earn a little snort. Just a surprised, yeah.
The other thing that would allow me to do was to help my brother get out of an unwilling pact.
Matthias, you see pieces fall into place as he finally kind of puts that puzzle together. Uh, and there's a look of understanding now because Gregory has mentioned, he does understand. He's done his best to reassure when he's had, really rough nights with the nightmares. But one, Matthias didn't poke, and well, he didn't poke. So you see several pieces fall into place as he kind of finally gets not the whole story, but another chunk of it. Uh, uh, hmm. How would you word that? Have no idea how he would word basically like is that I don't know how he'd word that. Damn it. It's okay. Uh Basically it's a I see and would do you know if it would help anything with anything else kind of deal? Like is that all like is there more to it that you're aware of kind of like cuz he wants information but he doesn't want to ask. Or well, he can't ask. He's yeah,
Yeah,
still working on that part.
there is a for perhaps for your opinion, uh, a bit of a lackadaisical, maybe a little bit too lackadaisical in your opinion, shrug, and he goes, "I have no idea."
I, yeah, that kind of that head tilt has remained. He just looks more like this man is a puzzle, and it keeps changing what kind of puzzle, and he isn't sure how to feel about that. For better or worse. He doesn't know how to. He also doesn't know how to feel about a demigod who doesn't know the extent of their power. I say completely ignoring Corvitz. Don't worry about it. But
It's not exactly like I can ask my predecessor and the others. They're not chaos. They are other things. Their knowledge pertains to their domains, not mine.
it, but it still wouldn't. They still might have insight to offer, though, right?
If they do, they're not hunting me. I have asked before. This is all very
Ah,
new to all of us. I
ah,
mean, hell, for uh, most of my life, I wasn't even aware it was a demi-deity.
that he looks initially surprised, and then no, that makes sense. You were indentured. That would make sense that they wouldn't tell you that.
I don't think Lucian knew either. Well, no, I'm fairly certain he didn't know, else he would have had me under stricter protections.
I hmm. Me, I was about to say, he strikes me as the man who would have flaunted that. Matthias wouldn't say that. Damn it.
Can I roll insight to see if he picks it up?
Yes. Please.
That's fucking 29, baby.
Yeah, okay. Uh, Matthias seems surprised, like, yeah, basically, like, and then, yeah, that makes sense, because if he expects, based on his knowledge of Lucian, he expected he would have probably flaunted it if he knew.
Yeah, there's a knowing, agreeing nod.
He and Master Keys are a lot alike.
You're right, they are. Even more so now they're both dead.
You don't even need to roll insight. Matthias does not. One, he looks surprised that Lucian is dead. Two, he does not believe that Keys is dead.
Yeah,
Yup.
yeah.
Yup. And then, of course, it's the. Of course he's dead. You got away. Therefore, like, of course it would make sense that he's dead if you got out. But, he does follow along his initial train of thought when he says, Master Keys would frequently ask who I serve, and I never could answer him. His hand has gone into his yeah, it would be his he's wearing a hoodie sweater, and so there's like, the little snack pouch. It goes in there, and he's holding something.
You mind if I see your hoodie some more? I might be able to give you some pointers.
Uh, he he immediately, hand immediately withdraws with it, but you can see the bit of fear of, well, him having it out and showing it. But yep, he does withdraw his hand, and there is a pocket watch, and it has his name engraved on the inside. I I I had it on me when I was found, and it's really the only thing I had that's mine.
He very specifically does not get any closer, examining
Mhm.
it from his position a few steps away.
Mhm.
Makes no move to try and take it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna roll history with some guidance
Hey.
because he has only seen this thing in one occasion. Or he has only seen something similar in one occasion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I do
Oh,
not
oh
have this
ho.
stat memorized. That's plus 3. Okay. Okay.
Oh ho, oh ho.
Okay, so that is a 23 on the history roll to try and remember this thing.
Nice.
And he tips his head, and there's a moment, like he narrows his eyes thoughtfully, and there's a moment where he's seemingly trying to recall something and goes, "It's not the same, but I recognize that metal."
Matthias's ears do in fact perk up at that. You do.
Hmm. I don't know who he follows. I don't know anything about his particular patron, but you want to speak to Memoir Alejo, I believe.
Uh, all right. Yeah, all right. He he's a warlock then.
To my knowledge, yes. Which might explain the differences between your pocket watch and his. You said you were a cleric, after all.
He nods. And he'll like he yep. Uh all right. Yeah, that maybe hopefully. There's there's a little bit of a bit of hope in there, Decimal. You get the feeling this is something that has bothered him for a long time, which makes perfect fucking sense if you're a cleric and you don't know who the hell you're following.
Mm-hmm.
But he tucks the pocket watch away. Uh and uh I mean he's just it mentally files away like Memoir Alejo. Okay, I can ask. I have to ask. Hmm. I can go looking.
I can drop a line to Lynn if you'd like me to. I'm
uh,
relatively certain she knows him.
I it you don't uh, if you'd like, you don't need to do anything for me, but I
I'm going to be talking to her anyway. So, two birds, one stone, and all that.
he nods like all right. And you definitely can tell like he's very thankful that for that. Yeah. And I think with that revelation he does like finally kind of not necessarily start walking, but he does kind of like fall back in place next to Decimal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Roll insight real quick.
Hey.
And I'm gonna roll interesting deception. I want to see if you notice this.
Hey. Oh fuck. Okay. Let's see here. That's math. Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, you do notice it.
Yay.
As you're walking, now that you're next to Decimal, there is a quick calculating glance up, glance down at your entire form. But it's not like a judging gaze. It's more of a he's naturally hard to read, but you think he was trying to figure out like your size, your dimensions. Not sure what that's about, but okay.
That's he the head tilts again, like maybe this will make more sense. I, he's not gonna question it. Uh, that's weird. Um, but I think now, that they've been walking for a fair minute, he does finally just ask, uh, where are we walking?
I've kind of just been letting Kara decide that.
Blank, blank. And
They they did tell you about them, yes.
yes. I have met Kara, or I know of Kara. Yes. And he, it's one of those, he's now remembering, right, the whole town is Kara, not just, it's easy to forget when you don't leave your room.
That's not the point of safety for this town, by the way. If you get into trouble while still within town but outside of network, Kara will come to your defense.
He nods. Uh, which is a little unnerving because this is the second time that they've mentioned potential trouble. Which from one hand is, yes, it makes sense to ease the fears of Keys coming back. But also, they keep mentioning it in a general sense. Like, people keep mentioning it in a general sense of, like, trouble. And he's not sure how to feel about that.
Oh, Decimal is now realizing just exactly what has not been told.
Yeah. Do I need to roll insight?
You can if you'd like. I will roll
Oh
contesting
boy.
deception.
Oh boy! Boy!
Let's see.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
I don't. That might be high enough that you can't beat it.
Oh boy!
Hang on, I'm doing quick math. Yeah, that might. I don't think you can beat that.
Nope, he can't. He cannot. Nope. He got a 27, so no, he can't beat that. Jesus. He
Guidance
would
coming
have
in
beat,
clutch. Guidance
he would
coming
have,
in clutch.
yeah, without the guidance, he would have.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! Yeah, Decimal. That particular bomb, uh, he's clueless about. Uh,
Particular sword of Damocles goes unnoticed for the time being.
mhm. But he has shifted as he left the house, and it was, uh, yep. So he isn't, he, based on what you Likely no. He he doesn't shift often. I mean, he was in his natural form when you knocked on the door. So he was probably told to be, not that form around town. And now you know he was not told why. So, hey.
Well, to fill in part of a gap they clearly left, Lynn has had a long and vaunted, varied, something like that, career. And you are very distinctive, at least in your base form, default form.
True form.
That.
Mm-hmm. He kind of Decimal says that, and you can see him like piece together the oh. It's I see. Okay.
There's enough real kind in Halloween Town that simply being real won't make you stand out, but being ash pale and purple eyed is still rather unique.
Uh, are there not a lot of changelings here?
I am completely the wrong person to ask about that. I have no idea.
He kind of rubs an arm like, hmm. And but he does nod. And he like I that makes sense. That yeah. And then he kind of has the thought of, should I be using a different form then every time?
If they haven't suggested it, then I'm not sure it's necessary.
He nods. He kind of nods at that, like, okay. Oh, all right. There's no like. It's just one of those. Information. Okay, that makes sense now. This thing I didn't, that I've been doing but didn't know why. So okay. Uh,
I suspect they probably failed to inform you of several things to ease you into things, not give you unnecessary worries.
he he kind of just gives like a little helpless shrug. Like he doesn't know what
Yeah.
he doesn't know what they haven't told him. So it's like I only know what they told me, and it's I barely know that because some of the things have been, it's been a lot. It's been a hell of a. I don't know how long it's been since he got here. Like a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. Hmm. I think he falls back into pace with you, and he doesn't like ask anything, but the silence isn't so tense now.
Mm. Decimal is content to let the silence lie, and he tries to broadcast that with his body language.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to hiding his thoughts with his body language. Doing the opposite is strange, but he's
It's
trying.
it's strange and weird, and this changeling is putting everything he's got to the test.
Mm-hmm.
But just do it quick. Nat 20, of course, now you nat 20. Yeah, no, Matthias can pick that up, and he just, that kind of like, he relaxes a little bit, uh, offers at least I, I wasn't allowed to talk, so I'm not very good at it. So thanks.
There's a accepting nod.
You get a, like, you actually get a little bit of a smile. And he's content with the silent, like, he's content to let the silence just kind of, settle between them as he actually looks around town as they walk. Mm.
Kara probably, as they're walking, kind of takes them through all like the big sites,
Yeah.
big sites, quote unquote, of the town.
The big sights. Yeah.
So the school, the manor, um,
Hmm.
fucking brief diversion toward the outskirts for the lichens, um, compound, the opera
Hmm.
house, the kind of high street that changes positions every so often, um, which eventually leads them back to network.
Hmm. And does he have a pretty good? This is the wrong window. Nope. Please give me his. Thank you. Uh, he does not. He might. Okay. Uh, I'm seeing how well Matthias can remember this. Catalog it away for later. Yeah. Okay. Which, it depends because it's Kara.
Mm.
But this current layout of the town, at least, he's got a pretty good, like, memory of. So, hey, that'll change. But he, oh,
What did you roll precisely?
survival
What'd you get?
for him, like, committing, 23.
23. Okay. With a 23, I will let you pick up on this. Kara Kara's actually kind of similar to you. There's a kind of default true layout of town.
Mm-hmm.
And they can change that layout as they will, but there's a there's this layout, and this is the layout that you've been shown, that is the kind of true layout of town. If Kara were to vanish suddenly again, that would be how the town is laid out.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And I let you specifically pick up on that because you're a changeling.
Yeah. And he picks up on that, and there's a thing with changelings, and it's not a universal, like, they all have the same thing, but it is a universal. Changelings have a tell or a twitch that is family centric in a way that lets like identify like. And he catches this, and I think subconsciously looking for basically what would be the tell of how to navigate the town even when it changes, sort of, with the true layout sort of deal.
Mm.
He's looking for the Kara cheat sheet in a way.
The tell is in the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Each area of Halloween Town has a slightly different layout for the road. Some areas are cobbled, some areas have flagstones, some areas are just dirt path. But even those that have similar roads, there are minute differences that most anyone would not look at, would not pick up.
Okay.
But because you have that insight, you are able to notice it.
Hey, cool. Matthias kind of, I don't know if he'd know how to express, like, any of this, especially to Kara, but he's like, I don't know, it's just like a sort of like ease in his shoulders, kind of assuredness in his steps. Like, Kara would probably pick that up, but
Yeah. There is a distinct feeling of I see you and you see me in the
yeah,
air.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
By the by, if you want, you can note down on Matthias' sheet that he rolled survival at advantage to try and get around Halloween Town.
Hey, cool. He needs that because
Mechanical benefit.
he can't. A lot. He can't use the divine way to do it. So There we go. Hey, it's there. It's official. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
He.
man.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say actually. He might do a thing that he's seen Gregory and Lynn do while at Network. Which is as they're like passing or well as they're walking, he'll lay a hand on like one of the like those little like waist high walls or on the side of a building.
Little pat pat.
Yeah, a little pat pat. Or just a touch, like, run a hand along it in that kind of like gesture of just yeah, like it's that gesture that he's seen Gregory and Lynn do in Network.
The stone under his hand pushes up a little bit like a cat nudging into his touch.
He does like he grins at that. Which yeah, congrats Decimal. Now you probably one of the first people to see this changeling smile. Actually, I think you are the first person to see this changeling smile. Shit.
I mean, makes sense, but it's still surprising.
Yes.
Just watches this interaction happen and go with this air of yeah, I figured this would happen.
Yeah. Just yeah, okay, fine. Matthias realizes Decimal is there again and he kind of has that like apologetic duck of his head.
There's a wave of his free hand, like don't worry about it.
Yep. And he doesn't have he's never met Genius Loci before and now there's two of them. He's so he's so delighted and yeah, you do definitely get that it's the same kind of look that Gregory gets when he when he's figured something out or has learned something. It's that same kind of like delighted uh well, I've learned a thing, or I'm, this is cool, this is fascinating, I'm learning a thing.
Mm.
And I would no, that's what he's got. That's
They get back to they get back to network
Mhm.
and Decimal opens the door and goes, look, he's all in one piece.
Matthias kind of offers a slightly awkward like wave to uh can you see? Yeah, he kind of offers like a slightly awkward wave that like towards the wall of love because he does know like that is network. Uh, and uh, and he then kind of turns back to Decimal. Because does Decimal walk in with two network, or is he just like opening the door for Matthias to like, here you go, he has returned.
He steps inside, but
Mm-hmm.
lingers in the doorway rather than
Okay.
heading out into the room
Yeah,
like
yeah,
most
yeah.
of
Okay.
Matthias does.
Uh, yeah, Matthias does like step in and then kind of pause when Decimal doesn't fully follow, and he turns back, and he just says, like, well, he doesn't say anything yet. He kind of, again, it's that like he studies him, which probably is not. It's like, oh, I'm getting a taste of my own medicine. I don't like that.
Yeah, there is something irksome about someone being able to read him, even if he is trying to make himself more readable. But
Yeah.
to this specific person, but um, there is an uncomfortable feeling of vulnerability in the pit of his stomach, and he is not fond of it, but he's enduring it because
Hmm.
his brother has asked him for help.
And this is how he helps, and it sucks, but he's helping.
Mm-hmm.
And
Uh, yeah. But there is you remember that he said that the network doesn't particularly like him very much. So there's this
mhm,
very kind of air of I'm not going to encroach on this thing's
yeah,
territory more than I have to.
yeah, and he picks that up. And he kind of awkwardly rubs at one arm. Uh, I thank you for, I guess, talking with me and for offering to talk to Lynn, Miss Lynn. Nope, nope, nope. Lynn did say just Lynn. Yep, that's right.
There's a kind of fluid shrug of, well, I was asked to help.
And hmm, that fuck. Okay,
What do you roll? What do
nat
you?
20, nat 20. Fucking like nat 20 insight. Get red, idiot. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he was asked to help.
He was, and
He's
it's
he's a little. You can tell he's a little bit surprised with how much he has helped.
Hmm.
Like how much of himself he's put forward in this endeavor, but he was asked to help and he has helped.
Yep. And it's one of those I Matthias, I think, was expecting some sort of, where the catch. Like, this is done. There should be a catch. Uh and there isn't. He was asked to help and he helped. There is no other like. And so when he's, trying to when he was waiting for the, well, I was asked to help and offered this in exchange, and there was no and, there was no but. So he's just kind of surprised.
Yeah, that's what gets that.
Yep. But he seems like some people might be like a little put off or something about Decimal only coming to help because he was specifically asked, but like Matthias isn't. He's genuinely like thankful. Like, yeah, he kind of he offers Decimal a smile and it's genuine and it's just I still thank you.
There's a brief moment as he flicks through responses because it is a little bit of a problem. It wasn't his pleasure. uh, Shit like that.
Yeah.
I think in the end he just settles on a "you're welcome."
Mm. It was a problem. It was not his pleasure. I did not enjoy it. It was a big deal.
Yeah, pretty much. After an awkward moment, he just kind of adjusts the collar of his coat and goes, "I'll be back at the same time next week."
That earns him a what?
You need to get out more, and it will probably do both you and Lynn some good to be away from each other for a time.
He hadn't. I, he can't like getting out more is good. So yeah, just oh, yeah, all right. I guess next week then. Yeah.
Yep. And he turns around and leaves.
Matthias is standing in like Network's living room, kind of like as the door closes behind him, he is just like, huh, that all happened. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Network is like vibrating around him. But eventually he will like pad up the stairs to his room. Uh I don't think he closes the door, but he does just kind of, return to his room.
Nice.
Yep. Network is just going playdate, 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 playdate.
Remind me, does Matthias' room have a window?
Yes.
Okay. Like 3, 4 days later, um, there is a package that appears under like inside the room, but like under the window, like it was just slipped through. And when he opens it, there is a long coat in kind of this dark, almost black navy. Um, it's like thick woolen coat. Inside is lined in silk, and there's like loads of hidden pockets on the inside. There's long sleeves with cuffs that can be, rolled to cover his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the collar can be popped to cover his neck. Um, there's no note, but given
Cool.
that it fits, about as well as a coat tailored by measurements alone and not actually on someone's body can do,
Mm-hmm.
there's a fairly obvious guess as to who did this.
As to who did this, because only one person stared at him that hard.
Yeah.
Uh, and he, yeah, he definitely, kind of has a fucking moment. I know no better way to describe it than that. He has a fucking moment. Uh, where he just kind of holds the coat and is like staring at it and is in awe because what the fuck? Holy shit. Uh and he does in fact try it on, and like it he's not a tune, but a network will definitely like be able to pick this up though. But he slides that coat on, and it's like if a tune had just had a part of their design click. Because he kind of relaxes in it. And then in his head he just goes, I gotta do something in return. He'll figure that out later. Yeah. I think that I think that might be a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
This was somehow wholesome. I wasn't expecting it to be so wholesome.
I was not either. Decimal, I also need to inform you, I'm sorry. Changeling, Changeling might have developed a minor crush with the coat. Sorry.
Oh, he's not gonna know how to deal with that. I think she's
He
gonna
is
ignore
not.
it.
I'm gonna pretend this doesn't exist. It's fine.
Oh
It's
goodness.
fine. At the moment, V Wild, this is crush number 3?
Craigery and Fierro?
Mer-
Or Marcel?
no, Marcel. Marcel. If he ever meets the druids that you have threatened, that number will go up. But don't worry about it. It's fine. It'll be fine. He's not fine. It's okay. It's fine. That was surprisingly wholesome, and I am in a way about it.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna end my recording before we start gushing.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye, listeners.
Bye.